Hi everyone, welcome to Viewers Mistakes 13. In these clips, a lot of credit is going to be given towards the third parties for making things a non-event. This video has been sponsored by Car Vertical. I know I didn't rate the viewer in the first clip, but please let me know in the comments what you would have given my viewer from A to F. Now, on to this next one. Remember, there is going to be a theme of the third parties doing things to make it a non-event, so I'm not going to be rating them today. Just my viewer. How do they do with this emerge? And why did it happen? The driver of the Mini behind deserves a lot of credit for not making this an event out of nothing. Let's go back and pick this one to pieces to see where my viewer could have done better. As we can see, we've got a 40 mph speed limit sign on the left hand side, and there's nothing else that changes, so we've got to assume that this road is a 40 limit also, but traffic could be travelling faster. The road my viewer's emerging on has got a fair bit of a bend to it, but it's the van driver behind my viewer turning right that obstructs my viewer's view. And this is made worse when the van driver creeps forward and my viewer simply gambles a bit. As we can see, the van driver did stop a little short of the giveaway, allowing my viewer room to see. Occasionally, when required, if I'm turning right, I will hold back further to not restrict the view whatsoever, but this can't be aimed at this driver of the van. My viewer quickly realises their mistake and accelerates briskly. The driver of the Mini, as we've said, deserves a fair bit of credit, but if you are emerging, just try and make sure you don't have that little portion of impatience. If there had been someone approaching breaking the speed limit, this could have been a serious collision. My viewer gets an E. The pedestrians here do a great job of keeping themselves safe, which should be anyone's primary concern, but my viewer doesn't do a very good job. Don't forget, as with all of these clips, my viewers have sent these in completely holding their hands up to their own mistake. Here though, my viewer gets a D, should do better. Only proceed when you know no one's going to be on the crossing. The slight uphill section and particularly the van on the right block the crossing perfectly. My viewer's doing approximately 26 miles an hour, but that was still a little fast for this situation. And how quickly those pedestrians appeared proves just that. What if that was a child who was just walking across without taking such care? This clip is a little bit topsy-turvy. It's the other way around to what we've been talking about. In this one, my viewer did do a brilliant job, and it was only the third parties that caused the problem.
Me.
I've said for ages about travelling in a pocket of space, and it was this that allowed my viewer just that little bit of extra time to be able to avoid a collision. Now, the people in lane 3, totally different. They were all travelling way too close. And it was actually quite ironic as well that the BMW that was in front of my viewer originally in lane 2 moved out into lane 3, not knowing quite soon they were going to be involved in that collision. I couldn't resist as well having a little look at a Car Vertical report with It's actually the black BMW, the one at the back, the one that cleared into my viewer's lane. And before we go any further, I'd just like to remind people, use the code Ashley, gets you a 20% discount. All the links are going to be in the description. The report on this BMW does show up some interesting information. First thing, it doesn't show that it's damaged. At the bottom of the timeline, right at the very end though, it does show that the license plate was changed about the time of this accident. And I've got a little theory about this. Do you think that this vehicle was insured third party only? Meaning the accident was recorded, but the damage to the BMW had nothing to do with the insurance company. And that leads me nicely onto a little bit of a warning that these car vertical reports, they are brilliant. They give you extra information that's going to give you that peace of mind if you are purchasing a new vehicle, but it doesn't always mean all the information that has happened to this vehicle is going to be found out. If you were going to purchase this car, if it had been put back together properly, if it had 130,000 miles on, you'd probably go, yeah, that seems about right for a car of this particular age. The car vertical report shows that this car has actually done 260,000 miles, and the mileage that is reported is more than likely a fake. It's probably been rolled back. So if you're going to purchase a car, and it's at this time of year that I usually start looking if I'm going to buy a car, because I tend to find that you get some decent bargains just after Christmas and New Year. If you're looking to buy a vehicle, don't forget, use my discount, 20%, use the code Ashley, all the links are in the description, and you get that little bit of extra peace of mind. Thanks, Car Vertical. Nice job by the driver of the Nissan SUV. I think this was a misread by my viewer. This does happen quite often as well, and it proves just how important it is that if you witness someone else misreading your intentions, make it a non-event. Don't charge at them trying to reprimand, like many do. At this point, all is going well. My viewer's away from the giveaway line, and we can see what I call the decision vehicle. Plainly and simply, my viewer needs to take their time until we see this vehicle head off into this road. But they don't. Risk wasn't too high in this clip. My viewer gets a C. Still a non-event though. I'm not sure what was taking my viewer's attention away. You can see him looking down at the dash, but it made him miss this pedestrian. This clip proves just how easy it is to miss obvious things when your attention is taken away, even for a split second. And again, the third party, the pedestrian in this case, doing things properly makes it a non-event. My viewer gets a D. I'm sure you're getting the message of this video. We've got another clip where my viewer is totally at fault, no one else is involved, but the other people still make it a non-event. What are you looking for here? My viewer is going to do the right turn coming up, and what can't you see? To be fair to my viewer, they weren't going that fast. They crossed traffic at a reasonable pace, so if anything like this happened, they would still be able to spot it. And for that reason, they get a B. But what if the cyclist had been flying down the inside? And that's something people often don't think about. This clip, as you can quite well imagine, is all my viewer's own doing, and the third party, the vehicle from the opposite direction that's trying to turn right at this next set of lights, really just works off what my viewer's telling them.
I knew she was going to do that.
There is a risk in doing this on occasions, but it's situational. When my viewer decides to incorrectly give way, there's no one directly behind for quite a distance, and it's only really when they've come to a stop that the blue BMW approaches. So my viewer gets a B. At this point, the driver of the silver car has showed no intentions to go. My viewer should just carry on. The vehicle flashing its lights behind didn't have any impact on my viewer's choice. And it's only because my viewer slows down when they should be going that causes the confusion and invites the driver of the silver car to continue.
Yeah, something isn't it?
A totally self-inflicted fault.
I knew she was going to do that.
Perhaps this happens quite often to my viewer.
I know she's going out.
An easy one this, my viewer gets an F. The oncoming traffic don't really do much to fix it, it's just pure luck. I honestly don't think I've seen a clip in higher risk in this series. Hopefully my viewer has learnt the lesson. We haven't got the rear footage from this clip, but I'm suspecting my viewer was being pressurised by vehicles behind. As you'll see, my viewer moves back to the left at exactly the wrong time and closes down all their options. This is the only clip from today's episode that I'm going to grade someone else, and it's the driver of the Fiesta in front. They get a D. Emerging at 25 to 30 miles an hour on a national speed limit road is ridiculous. But it wouldn't have been a problem if my viewer had assessed their speed a little sooner and stayed in lane 2 for a little longer. They also get a D. To finish, we've got the third of our hat trick of zebra crossing clips, and in this one I'd like you to pay attention to what the pedestrian does. Because they do just walk out, it increases the risk massively. My viewer's mistake is a pretty serious one. Absolutely target fixating at the flashing lights in front. An easy mistake to make, so hopefully there's someone out there who is going to learn from it. My viewer gets an E. Keep safe everyone, I'll see you soon.
Breaking every junkie rule in the book,